Hello, my name is Samantha Foote. I'm a board certified music therapist. I've been a therapist for 14 years, and I also have ADHD, and I have three kids with ADHD and autism. My husband also has ADHD, so we are a very neurodivergent family. And today we are going to be talking about the impact of music on emotional regulation and how you can use music to improve your health in general. The first thing we're going to talk about is the difference between music, therapeutic music, and music therapy. So, music is just an acoustic event involving specific combinations of sound moving over time. And that's what Barbara Crow said. And so that's all music is. It's just sounds moving over time. We can have silence, we can have sounds just over time. And then therapeutic music is the prescriptive use of music to promote well-being or support health outcomes. So this can be, your singing bowls, sound bowls, different things like that. There's something about listening to music, metronome, interactive therapy, or something like that. Just those different things where you listen to music for a specific purpose, but it's not music therapy. And music therapy is the clinical and evidence-based use of music interventions to accomplish individualized goals within a therapeutic relationship by a credentialed professional who has completed an approved music therapy program. Basically, music therapy is just using music to accomplish non-musical goals. Those goals can be, increasing communication skills, motor skills, cognitive skills, social emotional skills, all those different things. We're just using music to accomplish them, and it has to be done by a board certified music therapist. To become a board certified music therapist, you have to get a bachelor's or master's degree in music therapy from an approved university and then complete an internship and pass a board certification exam, and then keep up on your continuing education credits. So, why do we use music? I really like this quote by Christine Stevens, who is talking about the elements of music. And it says, in rhythm, we find that drumming turns off the thinking mind and allows us to feel the primal knowledge in our bodies. In melody, we find that sounding our deep emotions transforms pain and despair and helps heal the heart. In harmony, we find that harmonizing with others turns off the I and activates the we, transcending ego and filling the soul with unity. In silence, we find that quieting the mind deactivates our thinking about the past and future and allows the activation of peace and quiet. So, this is just how you can use the different elements of music to improve your life, to improve your health, and different things like that. What are the functions of music? Why do we listen to music? What do we do with it? The first thing is just pleasure entertainment. We listen to it because we like it. It makes us feel good. We go to concerts, we listen to live music, we might listen to recorded music, we make music, and all of that is just because we like it. And the second thing is music as medicine. Music has been shown to increase like immune response and heal ourselves and just different things like that. Music has been used as medicine for thousands of years. And the next one is just to support basic humanity and culture. We use music a lot in our culture. Different cultures use music in different ways. And then in worship, almost every single church I know of has music in it somehow. It's an integral part of the worship service. And then music is a communication. There is a really awesome quote that says, when words fail, music speaks, and that's by Hans Christian Andersen. And I really like what he said. Like sometimes music can communicate in a way that words just can't communicate. And so we use music as communication, and we're going to get a little more into that the later on in the presentation. And then it also affects our activity level. If you've noticed when you're running, you have a really good soundtrack, it's easier to run. When you're trying to relax, you have relaxing music on, whatever that means to you, and you're able to relax better than if you didn't have any music on. So music is really awesome in your brain. It activates every part of your brain and contributes to its neuroplasticity. And neuroplasticity is just your brain's ability to bounce back after injury. So when you're doing music, when you're using music, it makes new neural connections in your brain. And if part of your brain is injured, it can access the part that's not injured and make new neural connections so that you're able to function again. A really famous example of this was Gabby Giffords, who was a congresswoman in Arizona, and she had a traumatic brain injury. She used music therapy in her recovery, and she was able to come back from her injuries. When she was injured, the part of her brain that was injured was her communication center. And so she wasn't able to talk and she wasn't able to verbally communicate in that way. And so music therapists worked with her while also working with speech therapists and occupational therapists and physical therapists. And she was able to come back and be able to speak again and do the things that she needed to do. And that was because music was accessing the part of her brain that was not injured, and she was making new neural connections in her brain so that she was able to do the things that she needed to do. So these are the brain chemicals affected by music. Dopamine, which is a reward chemical. Serotonin is a mood stabilizer. Oxytocin is a love bonding hormone, and the endorphins are painkillers. And so music affects all these different areas of our body. Like we can get dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphins just by participating in music. These are the brain waves that are stimulated. So delta waves, which is sleep, theta waves, which helps you relax, alpha waves help you be calm, and beta waves affect your alertness, and gamma waves affect your thinking and working. So music can have an impact on these different processes in your body. Group music making. So there are some additional benefits to group music making that are not found when you're making music individually. Research has found that empathy circuits improve, the oxytocin, which is a love bonding hormone, is secreted more. Dopamine releases more, language structures improve, and cortisol actually decreases, so your stress level decreases. These are some benefits of drumming, whether you're drumming in a group or drumming, in just by yourself. It strengthens the immune system, releases endorphins, which enhances the brain's pleasure centers, reverses stress on the genomic level. They did a research study where they had people come in and they did a stressful task, which was putting together a puzzle that had no way of putting it together. There was no resolution. None of the pieces fit together. So they did that for an hour and then they went and they were divided into three groups where the first group just kept doing the puzzle, the second group participated in music, and the third group did traditional relaxation activities. And they found that on the DNA level, the markers for stress were reversed 3 times more when people were doing music than if they were doing traditional um, relaxation activities. And so that just goes to show that that music can reduce stress on the DNA level. These were not musicians that participated in this. They were just, your everyday people. They never had lessons. They never had like musical training or anything like that. They just were random people who participated in a music experience for an hour. And the next thing is it grounds a person into the body and present moment, offers creative expression, improves mood states and reduces burnout, promotes emotional insight and release, reduces feelings of alienation and isolation. That's that oxytocin that's increasing, when you're drumming with a group of people. Reduces feelings of oh, we already said that. Increases self-awareness and self-esteem, and promotes self-assessment and self-realization. The easiest way to get involved in drumming is to go to a drum circle. And if you just Google drum circles in your area, I'm sure something will come up. There's a lot of drum circles in my area, and I really like drum circles because you don't have to have any training. It's just you go and you play whatever feels right to you. So usually there's someone who's playing a steady beat on a drum, and then you can play like egg shakers or other percussion instruments or a drum or whatever. You can sit there, you can sing, you can dance, whatever you want in the drum circle. And you can get all these benefits from group drumming. And then You can bond with other people, and it's just really awesome. So we talked about the drum circle. Other ways that you can use drumming is drumming to music. So you can put on recorded music and then just drum to the music while it's playing. Another thing you can do is drum talk, where you actually use drums to talk to another person. And this works really well when you might be really frustrated with the other person and you really can't talk without yelling or getting upset with each other. And so you just drum to each other and you can, like drum out your feelings and then the other person drums their feelings and then you just go back and forth and you can kind of talk like that. And then the next thing you can do is affirmations, where you write your affirmations like I am smart or I am kind. And then you just get a drum and you drum while you're saying those. So then you get the benefits of drumming while also saying your affirmations. The next thing is benefits of singing. And you don't have to be a great singer. You don't have to sing on key to get these benefits. You just sing and you get the benefits. It lowers stress levels, strengthens the immune system, increases pain threshold, improves snoring, improves lung function and respiration, enhances memory, alleviates grief, improves mental health and mood, improves speaking abilities, decreases depression through the release of endorphins, and improves mental alertness. So those are just some of the benefits of singing. And ways you can use singing include singing the blues. This is a really easy way to, make up a song and sing it. It's very repetitive. So you say, I want to eat a oh, not I want to eat a sandwich. I am hungry. And then you repeat it again. Oh, I am hungry. And then the resolution. I'm gonna eat a sandwich. And so you just do the problem, and then solution. And you can go on YouTube and get backing tracks if you wanted to sing, with music, or you can get the outline for the blues and you can just write in, they have like Mad Lib style blues where you just fill in different words, or they have just templates that you can get where you can fill in the things that you want to write in. And that's just an easy way, maybe with your kids, if they're having an issue, if they are hungry, say, Oh, I am hungry. Oh, you are hungry. Let's get some chicken nuggets. Just whatever. And then you get the benefits of singing. And the next one is to sing affirmations. So you have, like, I am smart, I am kind. And while you're drumming, you say, I am smart, I am kind, whatever. Just, you can just sing it and get the benefits of singing. And then you can drum while you're doing it and get the benefits of drumming also. Obviously, you can sing along with recorded music, and then you can make up other songs. You can make up original songs where they have templates online or do parodies. They have, like I said before, the Mad Libs for blues songs. They also have rewrites of songs that you can do. So if you just type in Mad Libs, songs, then it comes up with different templates that just have different words taken out. And I really like doing this because you can do it with your kids or other people and you can make it fun or serious or whatever you want. So to make it, a little more silly, a little more fun, you don't tell them what the song's about. You just say, hey, give me an adjective, give me a verb, give me a noun, and then you fill in the song. And I don't know, my kids thinks that it's hilarious. And so you can do that and sing that. And then if you do play, piano or guitar or something, you can get the chords for the songs online and then you can play it while you're singing it. And then we're going to talk about some coping skills using music. So these are just strategies to reduce overwhelm and increase self-regulation. The first one is to regulate emotions through rhythms and melodies. And this is using the ISO principle. The ISO principle is a term to music therapy, which just means you use music to go from one state of being to another state of being. So if you're angry, you go from being angry to being calm. But you don't want to just turn on happy music or turn on calm music and not feel the anger. So the first thing you do is turn on angry music, really feel that anger, and then you slowly move towards happy or calm music to get you to another state of being. When I was in high school, I was angry every single day after volleyball practice. And then every single day, I got in my car and I listened to Linkin Park all the way home. And by the time I got home, I had felt all those emotions and I was ready to be calm because I had gone through all the emotions. I felt the anger. I wasn't just trying to slap happy or calm music over the angry feelings. And I recommend making playlists for different emotions. So if you're sad, you have a sad playlist that you can go to, make a sad playlist, make an angry playlist, make a happy playlist, make a confident playlist. Like if you need to feel confident and let's say, you're going to speak somewhere, um, put on your confidence playlist, put on a happy playlist. And you can use that, maybe if you're feeling a little bit more timid before something happens, you listen to some of that music and then you go to your confident music and you really move through those emotions. The next one is creating personal retreats through musical breaks. So I recommend doing this to keep your cup low, like not filled. And what I mean by that is everyone has a cup that can take in different things like our sensory input, things that happen to us, and you want it to stay low so that when something new happens, you don't just overreact to that thing. Where if you had a cup that was full all the time and one little thing happened, then you're going to overreact to it and maybe, do something that you don't want to do, react in a way that really you don't want to. And so these things can help you calm yourself before you get to that breaking point. The first thing is just to play an instrument. And you can improvise on different instruments. You don't have to know how to play it. I recommend, getting a keyboard or a piano and just start with one hand, put one hand on the piano and just play all the notes that you can play within the reach of one hand. Don't move your hand, just play the different notes that are within reach of your hand. And then put two hands on there. And then maybe do one finger and move it around the keys, and then you can get more complicated from there. But I recommend also maybe playing only the black keys. The black keys creates a really awesome scale that sounds good no matter what you play, and other people can play with you, and it sounds really good together. And so that's something that you can do if you wanted to play with somebody else. You can just play on the black keys and it creates that really awesome sound. The next thing is just to sit and listen to music. You can make your playlist. And so if, research has shown that if you're feeling sad and you listen to sad music, it will actually make you feel better. So just listen to whatever mood of music you need to put on. The next one is to have a dance party. I remember when my sisters were teenagers, and I'm a lot older than my sisters. I'm like 13 years older than my oldest sister and 18 years older than my youngest sister. And so all my sisters were at home. They were arguing with my mom, and all of a sudden, my mom just put on some Bon Jovi music and started dancing to it. And it kind of like shocked my sisters, but they just started dancing to it too. And by the time they got done, they were able to actually have a conversation about what was going on instead of yelling at each other after they had taken that dance break. And I'm not saying it's going to work for everyone. Like my sisters very easily could have been like, "What are you doing? I'm not participating in this." But that's just something that worked for my mom at the time. But even if you're not like on the brink of a argument or something like that, you can just use a dance party to release stress, to calm down a little bit, and just keep your cup running low. So it's not overfilling and you're not overreacting to things. The next thing is to participate in yoga with music. And so I really like doing this with kids where we do yoga poses and I sing to 10. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 and switch. And then we go to the next pose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and switch. And that just creates kind of a calm feeling. I also have yoga cards that have different poses that you can do, and those are really fun to get out too. You can do them for yourself, just pick different poses to do and set them in front of you and do those if you need like a quick reset. The next one is progressive muscle relaxation with music. And this is just putting on music and it will guide you through what you're supposed to do. There's things on YouTube that you can do. They have scripts on YouTube that go through this, and progressive muscle relaxation is just bunching up your muscles and then relaxing. So it goes from head to toe or toe to head, and you just, like go like scrunch up your muscles if you're doing it in your face, and then you relax. And you can do that. The next one is songwriting, like we talked about before, such as fill in the blank, Mad Libs for music, Mad Libs for songs. You can look up different things like that. And, or you can make your own where you get the lyrics to songs and then just white out different songs or not different songs, different words, and then fill in your own words in the blank. The next thing we're going to talk about is facilitating communication. So, when a person is frustrated or has another emotion that makes it difficult to communicate verbally, communicating through drumming can be effective. It's like we talked about before. I want to talk about an example of some siblings that I had that they came into the session and they were very upset. And so we did drumming and they matched each other's energy. And I said, the only rule is you can't interrupt. You have to wait until the person is done drumming and then you can proceed to drum. And by the time they were done drumming, they were able to talk to each other and figure out a solution to the issues that they were having. So this is really important if you're doing this with your child and you're not necessarily upset, but they're upset and they can't talk to you. You can hand them a drum and you can drum back and forth, but you need to match their energy. You need to match what they're doing. If they're playing really loud and aggressively, then you play loud and aggressively. And then as they get quieter and more passive, then you can also copy that and match what they're doing. The next one is aid in transitioning. So if you have kids that have a hard time transitioning, or if you have a hard time transitioning yourself, you can play music instead of like saying, okay, now it's time to do this, especially if you have a kid with like pathological demand avoidance. Pathological demand avoidance is a profile within like autism and ADHD that it looks like defiance, but what it really is anxiety. And they don't do things because of anxiety. So they're not doing things because of defiance. They want to do the things that you're asking them to do, but it's just they see every demand as anxiety inducing and they go into fight or flight and then they're not able to do it. Like their body literally cannot do it. And so sometimes switching between different tasks or roles can be particularly challenging for these kids. And so using music as a transition signal can help signal the brain that it's time to shift gears without you having to tell them. Because when you tell them, they see that as a demand and then their body just goes into fight or flight, so they can't do it. But if they hear a musical sound or they hear a song, then they're more likely to be able to transition without having issues. So you can put on, just a sound that says, okay, you can say, when this sound goes off, it's time to transition to the next thing on your list. So you might have like a visual schedule for them where it says, you know, play Nintendo, clean your room, do your homework, whatever. And if they have a really difficult time transitioning from playing the Nintendo, then you can just take yourself out of it and let them hear the sound. The other thing is you can play a whole song. You can say, okay, you have this whole song to transition, and by the end of the song, you need to be transitioning into the new activity. So that gives them a little more lead time. I really like this quote by Christine Stevens. It says, "Music is as innate as the rhythm of your heart, as close to your being as the hum of your soul, and as intrinsic as the silent space between each breath. Release any limiting beliefs you have about your own inner musical spirit and recognize that in all the elements of music, you will find a gateway into the healing benefits of sound." So even if you don't think you're good at music or you do it well, you might think you're a really bad singer or you have no rhythm, it does not matter. You can listen to music, you can sing to music, you can drum to music, you can improvise on instruments, and you get the same benefits whether you're amazing or whether you're just, average, or even if you're really bad at it, you still get the benefits from it. These are some books that I recommend if you have more questions about how to use music as a tool in your own health. There's a song for that, Lessons Learned from Music and Lyrics, a music therapist memoir and guide by Julie Hoffer. And then Music Medicine, The Science and Spirit of Healing Yourself with Sound by Christine Stevens. And then the forward is by Joan. I really recommend that book. It has a lot of great things that you can do to improve your health with music. And then if you have any questions, I can be found at boisemusictherapy.com, and I'm on Instagram at Boise Music Therapy, and Every Brain is Different. If you want to schedule a session with me to talk more about music or parent consulting, if you're parenting a child with ADHD or autism, I would be happy to meet with you. I offer free consultations, half-hour consultations, and yeah, just let me know.